It is time to declare moral victory. While there's much more to learn in computer science and the world, this about wraps it up for this class. You should celebrate. Here you can see happy people, and clearly they're next to, let's call that a cake. At least one thing we can conclude is that while you've learned quite a bit about computer science, my sketching skills have not improved at all. This course was not easy. And I fully acknowledge that. In fact, some of the material that it covers is similar to material covered in 400-level classes at universities like Cornell or Berkeley or the University of Virginia. There's a lot of deep stuff going on in here. You should really congratulate yourself on making through it alive. A legitimate question is, what comes next? Well, there's likely to be a final for this course and perhaps some wrap-up surveys, but if you'll indulge me for just a moment here at the end of the class, let me make some recommendations for what you might do with your copious spare time. I personally recommend that you study, if you have the time, philosophy, until you've covered epistemology. What is true? How do we know things? Tricky. Free will. Do we have it? So unclear. Logic, the philosophy of science, and what it is like to be a bat. And there's my bat using echolocation and apparently with the wings of a condor. Similarly, I think there's a lot to be gained by studying cognitive psychology, at least until you've covered perception, which is magical, consciousness, which is perhaps even more magical. Bonus points if you know what it is and can tell me. And the Flynn effect, just when we thought we understood intelligence. Study speech or rhetoric until you've covered persuasion and presumably made Captain Wentworth proud. Is all persuasion self-persuasion? You tell me. You should definitely investigate anthropology, possibly cultural anthropology, and gender studies until you've covered, say, Mead and Freeman, Margaret Mead, and have a better feel for which behaviors are socially constructed and which may be essential. I think you may find that a larger fraction are socially constructed than you would have believed. You should follow along with statistics until you can avoid being fooled, either by others or by yourself. You should spend some time with religion and ethics until you've covered the relationship between unhappiness and unrealized desires. How do we become happy? Study physics and engineering until you can explain how a microphone, a radio, and a speaker, or a headset, all work. Spend some time studying government until you have an opinion about legislating morality, and also the relative importance of freedom and equality. They are both virtues worth striving for. Ideally, we'd like them both, but if you could only have one. Read history until you are not condemned to repeat the mistakes of the past, until you and Santana are friends. And finally, study life until you are happy. They say ignorance is bliss, but they are wrong all but finitely often. Wait, what was I saying earlier about statistics? Never mind. And let me just conclude by saying that it has been an honest pleasure leading you during your discovery of this aspect of computer science. It's rare that I can do something like teaching this class that will leave such an impact on the world. Thank you for giving me this opportunity.